So we're getting everything ready. We got special guests. We got Dad here today helping out, and he looks like he peed himself. But what happened?
Oh, that plate was full of water and sandwiched between it when I lifted it. It just gave me a bath.
There you go. So right now we got a plan, or my dad has a plan, and we're gonna jack up
we're working with what we have, so that's
yeah. So he's making it clear that everybody knows that we're working with what we have, as far as material wise. The issue is, these are the brackets that are the front camper brackets that are for the camper tie downs, and you can see the other one on that side there. And what happens is they flex, even with these additional gusset supports right here. It's too thin, and I've shown this in previous videos, so they flex. This plan is to take this square tubing, which is small size, but it's really thick walled because it's what we have, and to put it on an angle and pretty much tie these together like a belly bar. So, but we got to jack the truck up from the bumper and see how far the drive shaft drops down to know how low or how high we can go or need to go. So we got the pallets, and we're gonna get the plate of steel under there, and then get the floor jack and make it happen.
So would you say you just got new hangers for it?
Yeah. I got new exhaust hangers, so I want to put those on at some point. But
okay,
right now
good.
we're on the other project.
You're in the air.
Oh, good.
Well, that was quick.
All four of them? Or I mean,
well,
all both of them?
all four won't. Yeah, just two. Okay, that's good.
So now that I got the rear tires off the ground and the suspension is fully drooped, I think that's called jounce or rebound, I forget. But the e-brake cable, even though it's shorter than, I was nervous about this, saying not going over jumps and stuff, it's not tight, so the e-brake is not on. And we got Paps over here mocking everything up. Let's see what he's got.
What we're gonna do is we're gonna put it, I think we're gonna slice this off right here.
Which, the existing bracket?
Yeah, this piece.
Oh, we're gonna
right
cut
here,
that off?
and we're gonna attach this to the side right here and weld it to the side of this, you know what I mean?
Oh, okay.
So it's gonna be pitched down a little bit. We'll get this welded together with a dip in it. You know
Just
what I
a
mean?
tack? Just to hold it?
Yeah, so we know where we are. Because we did a weld like this.
Okay.
And let's see what our distance is here.
So what's that? The crossbar. That's our cross member.
Yes, gonna go underneath it.
Okay. So we welded it on the bench, and now we're gonna see how it fits up.
I don't know. We're pretty close.
Yeah.
Wow, we're real close.
Well, it makes sense, Dad. It was 2 1/4. You want 1.5 inches. It's
yeah,
like,
I mean,
yeah, it's pretty.
we could go.
It's
I
pretty
could
good.
cut it and re-weld if you want to, but
I mean, that's pretty.
I mean, I think we're getting.
It
really,
looks tough.
I think we're getting picky. How much room do I get?
We're trying to get these brackets straight again.
Ready?
Yeah. But the whole truck's jacked up in the air, so it's moving. All right, let me see what it looks like.
There.
So we got the bar in there, and now he's getting ready to weld it right in there with the first tack, so we can get rid of the C-clamps. Okay. He's got the big bar, and we're gonna test it out. The camper pulls upward and towards the rear of the truck.
Like that?
Let's try it again. Let's see what it looks like. Wow. Try to do it again? Yeah, it's just bending the... Do it again? Are you doing it?
Yeah, I'm pulling. See the truck? See the whole truck's moving.
Yeah. So it used to bend that bracket and then the frame rail flange.
Now it's just bending this.
Now it's just bending the tube, which is that's the design we have.
Yeah.
So that right there was the ticket. That looks good. Nice.
Very good. Well, some final touches.
got the collector gaskets replaced on both sides, and the flanges for the collectors were bent because someone had over torqued them at some point. So we had a good idea. What did we do? Oh, we put 2 nuts in between, like where the gasket would be.
Right here.
And then
one here, one nut here, and one nut here.
Okay, and then what?
And then you took a little vice grip. Just a nut was in between there, and you took a vice grip to hold it in so it wouldn't just fall out. And you put another one here. And we took those big, took those big old channel locks, and you squeezed this together.
Yeah.
Which actually brought this back a little bit because these were bent in so far. Still a little bit, but I'm hoping it's going to do the job.
And then it straightened it pretty much. So, and then we put the thicker of the 2 gaskets. So here's the old gasket here that obviously is worn out. And I got this style, which is more of like a paper, thinner gasket. And this other one is more similar to this, is like a thicker, darker colored gasket. And we'll try those and see how it looks, or see how it sounds. 6-year-old still is hopping in a lifted truck pretty nice. Better. Nick quieted it up.
Hear it out the back. Sounds really good, yeah.
It's one of those things, I just ignored it for so long. Is that a belt squealing?
That's what it sounds like.
Good. I gotta tighten up. Alright, back at it at the junkyard. We got Dad over here pulling a horn out of an old Lincoln. He said these are loud horns, probably.
I think we should be pretty good right there.
And we're gonna strip these wires now to go test on a battery. But it's a dual low and a high note, so the horn on the 78 does not work, but I can hear the relay clicking, so hopefully this will work.
Yep. All right, so what we're doing is we're taking off the front grill because the horn's located on the other side. And we're replacing the horn since the horn is inoperable.
Okay.
At least we think we have to replace it. Well, it might be the wiring. You said you heard the relay working?
Yeah.
Oh, look at that fancy screw. No wonder it's no good. Here's the connector.
Yeah.
You said it. You want to see if this is hot? So,
yeah, I want to get a test light.
Okay, let's do
that. So
that.
we're going to get a test light. This should be hot when I honk the horn.
I hooked the ground right here all the way over to the test light, and obviously we got it pinned into but it should be hot, and we'll see if the light lights up. So go ahead, blow the horn, and the light will go off, and there it goes.
So there you go. So that means that we don't have a wiring, relay, any problem like that, which is great. So now we're going to remove the old horn and install these twin horns here that we tested and proved at the junkyard that they work out of what, like an early 90s Lincoln?
Something like that. I think it's the early 90s.
So we're working on getting this thing bolted in there, and you can't really get underneath it to get a nut and a bolt because it's tough. So I came over to my area with all my little stuff, got spring clips here, which is what I call them, which are these little clips that you'll see that have a threaded nut on the other side and they snap into place, and we just can actually fit perfectly for the bolt that we got from one of the horns in the junkyard. We just bent the bracket a little bit to make it fit in the area that we wanted, and then I just sprayed it with a little bit of satin, Rust-Oleum paint.
I'm not going to stand that close though.
Yeah, this is our first test of the horns. Ready?
Yep.
Oh, it vibrates against the truck.
Yeah, let's readjust it.
They work. All right, gonna show what we also did to the 78 here. it's gonna be tough to show, but the transmission bell housing inspection cover, there's 6 bolts. You can see those fresh bolts there. Those are aluminum. You know, the transmission housing is aluminum and it's tapped in there. So some of the bolts weren't long enough. They stripped out the lower portion of that tap portion of the transmission. So we bought longer bolts to grab more threads inside the transmission itself, and then figured if they're totally stripped, you could always put a nut, because we got long enough bolts, you can put a nut on the back side of them. So we did that, put a nut on one of them, so that was good. And then you can see these arms, which have fresh bolts in them. We had to re-tap this one to a bigger size, and then that one worked out, was the same. And we had to change how the arms are bolted to the bracket up front by the engine. It's hard to show all this, not really getting in there, but I didn't show during the process because it was pretty greasy. So you know how it goes. There's another shot of the cross member there for the front brackets. Oh, and also we took, because if the other viewers remember, we took the transmission bolts came loose that go into the engine, took all those out, cleaned them all off with brake cleaner, and blue Loctited them all and tightened them back in. They were all still pretty tight from when I tightened them about 1,000 miles ago, so that's good shape. But now with the Loctite, should be in great shape. And now just going around and addressing little things like the bumper. This isn't actually put in there correctly, but some of the bolts are a little bit loose. I'm either going to tighten them or take out the ones that aren't doing anything. This is a 70s bumper on an 80s frame. It doesn't work perfect. Plus, put a body lift on, remove the body lift. It's good enough. But I got to tighten those bolts or remove them. Got to do that. Then the other thing is, I noticed that the front sway bar, those collars, those locking collars right there, are not compressed. They're not all the way to that bushing. They're supposed to be moved over towards that bushing more. So I'm gonna see if I can break through that red Loctite, which may be a bear, and push those over a little bit. And I also was looking and reading and seeing other videos on YouTube. One of Kenny of All Trades videos, on his rear sway bar, he has different connecting points, just like this one is, and I have it set all the way over here. And the reason why I did that is because that made this end link in the most vertical position. So I did it that way, but I didn't realize that these were different stiffness adjustments, that you'll get a stiffer ride if you use the farther forward bolts, because it'll flex less. So I'm going to try and change that. Here's the driver's side wiper that the spring broke off of it, and here's a wiper arm from the junkyard, and you can see there's a little pin here with a little metal tab, and that's what the spring hooked to, and that pin and metal tab is gone. I just taped that spring there in case I needed it. So that's why it failed. I'm gonna put a little anti-seize in the splines because this was really tough to remove. And this wiper is relatively new, so I'm gonna put that back on too. I'm gonna put it onto the new one.